Alright, what's going on everybody? Welcome back. My name is Alex and today I want to talk about why WB Montreal should be thanking whoever put out that leak about the consoles being locked at 30 FPS. Now I don't really care for leaks that much because more times than not they end up hurting the game, but they just got super lucky and I don't even think they realize it yet, but they need to cut this person a check, whoever it is, because they literally just saved the launch of this game and the all the PR backlash that absolutely would have came if this game had launched and nobody knew this ahead of time. Especially because they weren't going to actually say anything about it, but the leaks actually kind of forced their hand to come out and make a statement about it. Now, of course, I'm still excited about this game. I can't wait to get my hands on it, but I am kind of sad for the people who were expecting, the 60 FPS on consoles because that's kind of like the new norm for a lot of games. But what I'm hoping for right now, since we're so close to launch date, is that at least make it a locked 30. 30 FPS, it's not quite 60, but it's still fine. It's still really playable. The issues start to come up is when things start to get intense in the game and it starts dropping from 30 to, like sub 20 sometimes. That's when it becomes an issue. So hopefully they can optimize it in a way that it's just locked at 30 for good the entire game. Now I don't know if you guys remember the launch of Cyberpunk 2077, but that game went through the fire when it launched. Now while I don't believe that Gotham Knights is going to be anywhere near that shape at launch, fingers crossed, knock on wood, but the fact that we would not have known that this would have been locked at 30 if somebody hadn't leaked it, and also the fact that they haven't given out the recommended specs for PC, with less than a week to go before launch, it does have me a little bit worried about optimization. Now going back to the launch of Cyberpunk, that game was okay to play on PC at launch, but on consoles it was actually a little bit rough, if I'm just going to be nice about it. And the fact that they didn't tell anybody about some of the issues that they were having before launch, and they just let it loose into the wild, so the internet took that and they ran, and that game just now kind of got back into everybody's good graces with the anime and everything that just came out. So that was like a whole 2 years of just being pretty much picked on and ridiculed for having like a super bad launch. Like the game has gotten a lot better. They have patched a lot of things. They've added things. So it did improve, but it just took a long time. But the reputation of CD Projekt Red is going to forever be tainted by that launch, and I believe their only saving grace is that the Witcher series was so good, and especially with the Netflix adaptation and everything, and the Cyberpunk universe is already well established, so they got super lucky on that front as well. And with Gotham Knights, there's already a lot of people saying that they're requesting refunds right now. That's all fine and dandy, but once the game actually releases, Microsoft and Sony, they don't like to give refunds, so that would have been a whole nother debacle, and that would have snowballed on social media. Everything just would have went insane. It would have been the worst PR they could have asked for, so I think they should be breathing a sigh of relief right now. And I would also say over this next week, if there's anything else that they, are kind of holding back on that they feel like people should know, they should probably just get the cat out the bag and, just rip the band-aid off, let everybody know, let them choose whether to, spend their money or not. And I also feel bad for the devs in a way because, all of these calls, they come from like higher up. So there's probably things that the devs would like to tell us, but they can only tell us what they are given permission to tell us. So I don't blame them at all. But I do believe whoever is marketing this game, they are kind of dropping the ball a little bit because this whole 30 FPS thing just stole all the air out the sails for, the 4-player co-op activity that they just announced. Nobody's talking about that, but I do believe that they can get ahead of this. I do believe that they could still adjust some things, and people are still excited about the game. Now, I put a poll out a couple days ago and just asking, how do people feel about the game being locked at 30? Are they still going to pick the game up? And we got a pretty decent sample size. We got about 674 people at the time of recording this. 68% said that they're still going to buy it. And then we got 18% said that they're not buying it anymore. And then we got another 15% that just says that, they don't really care. So while there are a lot of people who are super disappointed, super upset, and you absolutely have every right to be, because even though I'm playing on PC, I do believe that on consoles, 1080p 60 should be a baseline for a lot of games because not a lot of people even have 4K monitors. Ray tracing is nice, but you can definitely live without it. Or at the least just have the 2 toggle modes. Now I don't know how this game is built, but I do believe that should have absolutely been a priority. Now it does seem that despite the backlash, a lot of people are actually still going to pick the game up, so hopefully they can turn this around, hopefully they can get ahead of this, and hopefully they can figure out a way to patch in a 60 FPS mode. Even if it's not at 4K, it'd be nice if they can figure out for the people who actually still play on consoles. Now, we'll be streaming the release on Friday, so if you're still on the fence about the game, just stop by, check it out, see if you actually like it. I will be playing on PC, so I guess that kind of skews the whole 30 FPS discussion a little bit, but you could at least still check out the actual story and the gameplay. And that's all I got for you guys on this one. Thank you for dropping by. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please leave a like, comment, subscribe, all that shenanigans down below. And I'll catch y'all next time. Peace.